And welcome back to the very best podcast. I am Cooks the Magician, and this is Strawberry the Shortcake.
Hello, everybody. We are so excited for this episode. I know I say this every time we do a podcast, but this one is so exciting, full of twists and turns and highs and lows and crushing people's spirits. It's I don't know. What else does it have, Cooks?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's pretty swell.
It's pretty swell. We're going to have a swell podcast, people. This is going to be the swellest podcast you guys ever did see.
Yes. So, well, this is
Cooks' favorite episode, and if you know anything about Survivor, you'll know why at the end. Maybe you can guess now why it's Cooks' favorite. Like, some of our
Put it in the comments.
Why it's your favorite? What?
Guess why it's my favorite in the comments right now.
Oh, yes. Guess why? If you are an avid listener to our podcast, you will know why this is Cooks' favorite episode. All right. So we start off.
I didn't take any notes, but I know what happened, so it's all good.
We start off this episode with an epic challenge. And I asked Cooks what this challenge was before I started the podcast, and he never answered, and now I'm not quite sure. It was fun.
Oh, it was the one where you split them into two teams.
Oh, yes. So, I feel like everybody has, like, such a better imagination than I do. I said there was a twist.
Well, I did take notes this podcast. I just forgot.
They must have been boring if you just forgot about them. So I split. So the twist was, I wanted to be vague. So I said there was a twist, and I said that we were, picking, we're going to put people into two teams and that they could pick their teams. And it was supposed to add a little spice because they'll be like, is this a demerge? I mean, I could have had a demerge at 8, but I feel like, I hate having big twists towards the end. But then we had a big twist. Anyway.
I feel like the demerge is better to have at 10 than at 8, because at 8, that's kind of when, like, 8 and 7, like, as we were about to talk about, that's kind of like when a lot of the action happens, and, like, I feel like putting a demerge there just kind of neuters it.
Yeah, like, I'm all for demerges at, like, 10, but... 8, yeah, no. But for some reason, everybody got it in their head that there was going to be a demerge and 2 people were going home. And I feel like even though I didn't,
that made it super. That was a better twist than a demerge. Having them think it's going to be a demerge and then have it not be a demerge was a 10 times better twist.
You know how hard it is to get people to believe things that aren't true?
Not very hard if you've been watching this season.
I know. So we split them up in groups, and so what it is you just have, like, basically...
They get to pick their own group, which was a fun part, right?
Yes, they pick their own group, and then they decide to be all, fair about it, and, did like a school...
Have pick smacks because they feel very backstabbed, and they are talking about making a move against, like, Dongush and gang. So they're like, for the demerge, we gotta stick together. So a lot of these people were picking people based on the fact that they were like, oh, who can I trust?
Yes, exactly. And
I forget what the teams were, but there were two teams.
Yeah, I kind of forget what the teams were too. I mean, I can look it up. It's easy to look up. But
I'm looking right now.
but what I also wanted to do, like basically the challenge, like there was a whole setup with like, blocks and you had to get across the cliff and whatever. It was an amazing challenge with lots of graphics and so over the top. But basically, all you had to do for 5 rounds is pick A, B, or C, or D. Was there a D? I think there was a D. So there was 4. And you couldn't pick the same letter as somebody else. But I added a little teeny layer there saying you could talk and strategize with other people because I wanted to see who would strategize, who would be like, that person's lying to me. I'm not going to, do what they said. And it kind of worked out just the way I expected because Trav ended up winning immunity from one side because him and Max worked together and didn't pick the same letters between the two of them. And Don Goosh did the same thing where he worked with people to make sure he didn't. And then we had people like Brandon, who I'm pretty sure had no clue you could talk to people.
So the one team was Scott and Don Goosh and Squee and Nathan. So those pairs probably work together.
Yes. So, but
this was so yeah, Trav and Don Goosh won immunity, and this was Don Goosh's first immunity win, and I think it was a pretty good one for him to win.
Yes, because after the Chase vote, I feel like it was good to have immunity this round because he might have gotten himself in trouble, so it was good to have immunity last round because some people were not happy with him, mainly Max and Trav. I'm not sure if we talked about this last episode. I don't think we did. So what happened is everybody is voting. There is 3 names coming up. There's Max, again, Nathan. Wait, no Max. Why are you letting me get this all wrong, Cooks? So it's Squeet, Nathan,
Scott,
and Scott. Those are the 3 names.
But basically what's happening here is Nathan and Squeet are this secret power duo, but they're trying to make it seem not like it because Nathan kind of has an alliance with Don Goosh, so he pretends that he and Squeet are like enemies, but they're secretly working together to try to get rid of Don Goosh or Scott because they view them as running the game.
Yes, and we do need to take a moment here and realize that Nathan and Squeet are both Babs. They're both little baby Tiny Toons. So they have been together since day one. They've been trying to hide how close they are. And see, I don't know,
it's sort of working and sort of not.
Did they have to do, I mean, we loved the fake fights. It was a lot of fun. We loved the fake fights, but did we really need the fake fights? I'm not quite sure. But they were fun. And then something happened.
Some people didn't really believe, when I saw the fake fight, I didn't even read the one-on-ones. Just seemed fake, so I went to check the one-on-ones to see if it was fake, and it was. And some other people were like, nobody was like, that's so fake, but they were kind of like, that could have been fake, but
It was so funny because they were in the tribe chat and they're like, rah, rah, rah. I don't even know what they were saying. I think last episode, we went over, like you kind of said word for word what the fight was about, but like that I would get like a ping from Nathan and I go look at what his ping was and he'd be like, "We're just kidding." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's so funny." And then I go back and then all of a sudden I get a ping from Squeak. "We're just kidding." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I know." But this,
They're just having fun. They're just two little rascals having fun.
yes, but it leads to a little problem because I think they tried to hide something and it ended up bad. But we won't get there. We won't get there. So,
Before we get there, Trav was the other person that won immunity. We didn't mention that, which is his second immunity win in a row.
yes, I feel like I did mention Trav. Oh, maybe I didn't. So Trav wins. Dongush wins. So I feel like Dongush winning was good for him because he was going to use his safety without power, but now he can save it for another round. And him being immune, left Scott open for votes from the other side. We kind of have two sides. We have the granny side, and we have like what I think they call them the daycare. Do they call them the daycare people? I think they call them the daycare, which is basically Squeet, Nathan, Seren. Then we've got Scott, Dongush, and Brandon. And then we have like Max and Trav. Now, Max and Trav, see, this is like, there's a lot of times where people play the middle alone and it's very effective, but they're playing the middle together. And they are really a power duo. So I really want to see how a duo playing the middle is going to, if they're going to be able to outthink and outlast the grannies. And if they do, I'll be really happy for them.
I was really like, people were kind of like whatever about Squeak all season, but it's one of those things where go back through the tribals, Squeak has been through so much that it makes you root for him, and his duo with Nathan became my favorite duo of the season. Like, I was rooting for them all the way this round, like even more than Dongush.
Yes, and if you remember how we talk about like who we don't talk about on the podcast, like I don't think we talk about Squeak very much. They're definitely
Like, you look at Squeak, like in the pre-merge, Ty got voted out. They survived 5-4. They were the 4. When they were supposed to go home and Tony went home, they were the other person, 8-2. Then we're going to get to this round, and you're kind of realizing, like, Squeak is becoming, like, the cockroach of the season. Like, he won't die.
Ooh, that's gonna be one of our awards. Oh,
Also, he won 2 immunities. Like, I don't know why people are underrating Squeak. He's won 2 immunities. People keep trying to vote him out, and they keep failing. Like, maybe his personality just isn't doing it. I'm not sure.
yeah, is he one of the youngest ones? Because like I know Nathan is young too, but I feel like he's a little bit older, so maybe it's an age thing. Let me see how old Squeed is. Um, I don't know if it's that. Maybe it's a stupid name. um, but he's surprising us. He's surprising us. So Squeed, oh, yeah. So Squeed is 14. Nathan is 16. So this might be why people aren't really connecting with them, especially like um the older, the older ones aren't quite in connecting with the 14-year-old. Um but for a 14-year-old, wow, like I don't think I would have thought he was 14. So
I wouldn't be playing Survivor this good when I was 14, to be honest. I would do a lot worse.
no. Oh, I do remember something. Oh, Max. I forget what it was even about. It might have been about this vote. But Max was like, I've been playing org since I've been 14. I know how a 14-year-old thinks. Let me talk to Squeet. I will get him to do what we need him to do. But that's for another round. This round, we go and we have Nathan, who pretty much tells us right after the challenge results that he is giving his fire making idol to Squeet. Why is he giving it to Squeet instead of just using it on Squeet? It's because Nathan doesn't want to get any blood on his hands. But like, oh, maybe I don't really like. I'm going to ask you this because you are our strategic person. So if we're at final 7, you have to start making a resume. And if that was your fire idol and you found it and you want to use it to make a big, bold move, you kind of have to at 7, right? Or is it better for him to hide and be like, oh, I don't know what happened, and not get the blood on his hands?
Maybe it depends. If I was a fire making idol, I would just stand up and use it myself just because. If you go back every time the fire making idol was played, correct me if I am wrong, but I do believe that every time it's been played, the person who has it gave it to the person who they wanted to save.
Maybe.
It's a common thing. Like, remember when Fred found the idol, he gave it away to
Rachel.
And then when Fred needed to save himself, Rachel gave it back. I think it was a similar thing. So yeah, it's not.
Max just played it, didn't he? Who had the fire making idol? The other one?
Max just played it, but it's not unusual like to give it away, but like it's kind of like a whatever thing, because I'm sure that Nathan could go to the end and say that, hey, I did do this, and I'm sure Squeet wouldn't lie and say like, yeah, he did give me the idol, so it doesn't matter too much. But like, it's like one of those like whatever things. It's like, yeah, why not just play it yourself? But it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So he decides that he's going to use the fire making idol, and Nathan is playing such a tricky game. So we talked about Scott and how Scott had this, pre-existing relationship with Nathan, wanted to work with Nathan. Nathan voted to vote Chase out. Yes, he did. So now Nathan is hiding his relationship with Squeet and the Dongush, Max, and Brandon. But he is going way above and beyond what he needs to do to hide his relationship, because who does Nathan vote for? You know this answer, Cooks.
I do. I was eating. I'm sorry. Nathan votes for Squeet.
He votes for Squeet. And the only reason to vote for Squeet is to save his relationship with the grannies. But it kind of bit him in the butt. But we'll get there. So, I also feel
Like, I really feel like there's no point in like hiding your relationship with Squeak so much when like the game is already turning against Dongush and Scott. You know what I mean? Like they would have like Max and Trav are already like pretty much ready to flip.
yes. And
Max is mad. Max told Dongush off after the chase vote. He told him that he said to his face, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna burn your game to the ground. I'm gonna do everything to make sure that you lose.
yeah, yeah. And let's say he was even madder this round. But
Max and Trav are another secret duo.
well,
I think.
they're not even a secret because, like, remember after Trav's song, like he pretty much called Max, like the diss track, he pretty much called Max his ride or die. He's not hiding anything. Trav is not subtle. But the thing is when it comes to voting, the grannies didn't trust Max or Trav enough to tell them that the vote was on Squeak because they didn't think that they would vote Squeak, that they wanted to vote Nathan. And then I think they did think a little bit like, what happens if somebody has an idol or whatever? Maybe it's better that, we split the votes up a little bit. So they said that they were voting for Nathan, but all the grannies voted for Squeak.
Instead of just being straight up with Max and Trav, Dongush and Scott are manipulating them again.
Yes, and did I talk about this last podcast when Dongush was talking?
It's a fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Well, that's not exactly what he said. I want to say the quote was so good. Can you talk about something for a second while I look up the Dongush quote?
Well, their plan was to split the votes, and to do that, they would manipulate their allies.
I pride myself on being the type of guy to set a bunch of options for myself at every given moment. But the way things have gone down these last couple of votes, I only really have one way of getting through here. Winning immunity would be ideal, and I'm going to try my hardest, but I won't plan for it. I am fully planning on using my swap for someone here. I was originally selfishly going to do it for myself, but if I did that, now I think it'd be running. Oh, this is giving information for the wrong thing. I'm reading way too much.
Can I ask you something?
What?
Just for a reminder, where does Scott get his safety of power from?
He got it from the Safari. Like at Final 14, everybody.
So he earned it himself. No one gave that to him.
Oh, wait. Oh, Scott. Yeah, Scott. It was Scott's, and he gave it to Dongush.
Okay. I might have been saying the wrong names.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, I was reading the wrong thing. If you lie to someone once, they can forgive it as a one-time thing. If you lie to them twice, you can still find a way to justify yourself and pull them in. If you lie to them 3 times, there's no way to bring them back into the fold. Again, I lied to Max for this vote and the Chase vote, but failed to remember the Johannes vote where he was left out. He's seen me able to lie flawlessly 3 times and once out. It's similar thing with Saren. I got sloppy and that's on me. That's why Trav isn't nearly as mad as Max is. I've only lied to him twice. But the thing is Trav is just as mad as Dongush as Max is, but Trav is better at Survivor and Trav is better at hiding it. Do you know how Trav is hiding it? This just shows you how teenagers work. Do you know what Trav does when he was trying to talk to Dongush about what happened, this vote. He put everything he wanted to say in Chat GPT and used what Chat GPT said. Like, how do you make it sound like you really want to work with this person, even though they betrayed you? And Dongush is eating it up because Dongush does think that Trav is still with him. And next episode, we will let you know if Dongush has made a terrible mistake or if Dongush is the most amazing Survivor player ever.
Dongush, he's a player. Like, he'll make a move and he'll think it through, but he'll make a move even like if there's like a risk. Like, he'll take the risk.
Yes. And I
like, he's not afraid of blindsiding somebody, even if there's a risk of blowing up his whole game.
And I love him as a player. He's like a host dream.
Nathan is the same way, except Nathan takes unnecessary risks, and a lot of the times the risks he takes have little reward. Like, the risk he's taking now kind of reminds us of
when he intentionally tied the votes and he could have got himself rocked.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's fun, you know? I mean, some people need the need the thrill, I guess. And this was a thrill because he purposely knew he was going to get votes, and he used the fire making idol to put himself in fire making. And what could have Nathan do to get himself out of fire making? What could he have done? He could have voted for Scott. He voted for Squeak.
Could have, but rechecking with the stuff going on, I'm not sure if that is true, but whatever.
Well, yes, because he voted for Squeak. Squeak had 5 points. He had 5 votes. Nathan had 3.
There's 8 people, though.
Oh, maybe it's 4. Oh, no. Okay, so he voted for Squeak. Squeak had 5. So if he voted for Scott, Squeak would have had 4, and Scott would have had 3, and Nathan would have had 2, and he would have been safe from fire making. I think part of him thought that it was better to have both of them in, to have a double shot of getting rid of Scott. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know why. It was too risky.
Either way, he goes to 3-way fire making because it's 4-2-2, because a 5 to 3 to 2 equals 9.
No, it would be a 4-3-2 because Nathan had 5 votes, but if Nathan didn't vote for him, he'd have 4 votes. And Scott had 2 votes.
Plus 3 plus 2 equals 9.
Too much math. I'm correct. This time, I'm standing behind my math.
All right. Either way, it resulted in a 3-way fire-making challenge.
And Nathan, he's not happy about being in the fire-making the challenge, but he's been working closely with Squeak all season. He wants to save Squeak. He wants both of them to make it through. And we're rooting for them. We're like, go, you guys can do it. And guess what? Nathan ended up losing. And it was
just Squeak versus Scott. Scott would have went home.
Yes, and it was funny because the fire making challenge was a crossword puzzle. No, a word search. And then it was my favorite little strawberry shortcake memory game. And Scott's like, I have old eyes. I can't, I have a bad memory. I'm 53. I don't know if I can do this. But he ended up getting a faster time than Nathan. Oh, wow.
Yeah, and Squeak won by a lot, and he proved again that people were like, "Oh, it's just luck that you win 2 immunities in a row." Playing orcs for a very long time. Straw, how many of all orcs you played? How many immunities have you won?
How many? 4?
1-4.
Yeah. 3?
Well, like yeah, but they're not easy to win. Like it's not just luck. I'm trying to say you're not going to get lucky and win twice in a row.
No. And there's different ways to win, but yeah, like I feel like Squeak, I feel like he can, like, he might even be able to comp his way to the end.
Might be able just like to overthrow the kings and get to the end too. So by the way things are shaking out.
Yeah.
But you never know. So Squeak and Nathan, I think they want to go to the final 3 with Sarin. If that really worked out, because they're kind of the trio, Sarin's with them.
Oh, we need to talk about
who wins now? Fred?
What?
Did you say Fred? Did you say Fred?
No. What? I don't even know what I said.
You said we have to talk about Fred.
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, what'd you say?
Oh, I said Saren. We have to talk about Saren. But I don't know if the talk about Saren is... I think we have to talk about Saren next podcast, because Saren is making big moves. But she's getting targeted. So we have to have a whole episode on Saren, because she is going to make you rethink her.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, I've already liked Sarah in this season. I've been up and down on her a few times this season, but when she's entertaining, she's entertaining.
Oh, yes, with her pamphlets about not voting me out.
Mm-hmm. And, so, it's pretty easy for Don Gooch and Scott to pick up Brandon. Like, I feel like Brandon is just their extra vote right now, right? Like, I feel like he just blindly follows them.
I forget. Don Gooch said something about Brandon this episode. He said, Brandon is starting to play, and it's so cute.
That's kind of rude. Low. Yeah, and so I do kind of like... I was kind of hoping for Scott to get eliminated, but I was also not hoping for it, because I really wanted to see... I really liked... Starting from last episode, I really started to like the duo of Nathan and Squee, and it's sad that it came to the end, because that was legit the duo I was working with. That I was rooting for.
Yeah, me too.
But now I guess I go back to rooting for Don Gooch.
I don't know. Don Gooch has got, like, I feel like we can't talk about Don Gooch too much, because it's going to lead us into giving away things next episode. But Don Gooch has made some comments where he thinks he knows exactly what is happening, and he does not, because Trav is playing Don Gooch like a fiddle. Trav, like, next episode, remind me to give Trav my crown, because the way he just manipulates Don Gooch is amazing. And
oh, really?
Oh, yeah, because Don Gooch thinks Trav is with him. Trav's not with him.
Yeah, that's a miscalculation. Do you know what's really fun about Trav is that made big waves early on in the merge with his flipping and all this other stuff. And at one tribal in the merge, when all the extra votes were played, Trav got 7 votes at one tribal and still stayed. And then after that, we were like, oh, he's going to go out soon. It went right under the radar after getting all that attention.
Oh yeah. And
which is so weird. Like, think about it. He got 7 votes in one tribal. Usually that means you go home, and he stayed. So you'd think that would make him a target. But then he was just like that. Like a magician, he disappeared.
yeah, and I think what it is, it's his like his social game. Like, I feel like some people play the game with like an intensity, and you know that they just are playing to win. And then you have the other player that is playing to have fun, enjoy themselves, and win. The second person you don't even see coming because they don't look like they're like playing at the same level as the person that all they want to do is win. But they can beat, they can beat out that person. Does that make sense? Because I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing, that's what Dongush was doing too. But now, after Dongush perfectly did that for most of the game, but now I think basically everybody's like, people don't see Dongush as the fun guy the fun, like, stoner friend anymore. They see him as, like, the Godfather. They see him as the ringleader. So basically, Dongush right now is like Dongush right now is like it.
When's the last time Dongush has told anybody about how high he is? Like, I don't think he has. I think you're right. He's playing the God. He went from the stoner, I'm, high, to like, I'm the Godfather. I know what everybody is thinking and how they're thinking and how they're voting. Don't you think so?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I said, yeah.
Yeah, Cooks, I might have been a little rude to you. I'm sorry. But that's
okay.
why we do such a great podcast, because we yell over each other. And there's never any dead space, because soon as because we just like talk over the last person and say what we want to say.
Yeah, you just talk over me and say the same thing I said.
Yeah, but say it better, of course.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, this episode...
Yeah, and my tribal questions weren't as good as last time, so I won't go over it, but I did ask Trav about his opinion on the political economic state of the world.
Because you weren't supposed to ask him about winning 2 challenges in a row, but I think you snuck that in.
Well, what happened was, Trav was like, don't ask me about winning 2 challenges in a row, okay? You already give me all the hard questions. And so you knew I had to ask him about that. And then we were doing the Brand Steel podcast, and Trav hopped in right when we were finishing recording. And I jokingly said, I made a joke of giving a tribal question about the political economic state of the world in reference to the Jaden Smith meme from a couple of years ago. And Trav said, oh, please do not ask me that. I was like, okay, I gotta ask Trav that now. Oh. So I asked him both of those questions, and Trav put in an answer from his essay that was actually a really good answer and quite inspirational. So let me look for that.
He was funny.
Have you seen this answer, Swa?
No, but he was funny. He's like,
he answers it seriously. Listen to it. I'm going to read it word for word because it got some people putting the cute eyes and the hearts and everything. Everybody was like, wow, that's so beautiful. And people kept claiming it was AI. And Trav said, maybe. I did hand it in for assignment, so I could have used AI. But anyway, I believe the political and economic state of the world right now is deeply concerning but not hopeless. Politically, there's a growing divide in many countries of rising authoritism threatening democratic values. That worries me, especially when freedom of speech and fair elections are under attack. Economically, we're seeing increasing inequality. Corporations and ultra-wealthy continue to gain power, while everyday people struggle with inflation, housing, and student debt. But I also see a potential for change. Young people are more engaged than ever, pushing for climate justice, fair wages, and human rights. I believe through organizing, voting, and holding leaders accountable, we can build a more equitable and sustainable world. It won't be easy, but I have hope in our generation's ability to demand and drive progress.
There is no way he wrote that himself. Oh, maybe he did.
But in the jury were reacting to it, and they were like, "Wow, that answer made me love Trav more." So like he has a great social game because people were like hating him, seeing him as a snake, and he never denied those claims. His charm just won them over. Like he's like, "Yeah, I'm just playing a game." You know what I mean?
He was funny. He's like,
There was like two or three people legit on the jury who read that answer and said, "Wow, now I like Trav even more." So it's like he knows what he's doing.
yes. And Trav is funny because he sent me like these cool kids now. They make these edits, which I don't know what edits are. They're like little clips or something. So he sends me this edit. And then, the edit says it's him, and he writes a little note, has a heart, and it says, fuck you. And I'm like, Trav! So that I, acted like I was all mad. And then, like 2 seconds later, he sends my special edit to somebody else. And I'm like, Trav, I thought it was special, and you're sending my edit to everybody. It was funny.
Yeah, it's like a TikTok. It's a TikTok thing.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, well, an edit is like what it is. An edit is an edit. Like when you edit a video, so it just means like an edited video. So, technically,
I should get on TikTok, but who has enough time for TikTok when you're on Discord all the time? And I can just look.
I think we went. I think we went over everything very succinctly. I feel like.
Yes. Yeah. What else do we really need to say? Did we ever come out and say Nathan went home? I think Nathan lost. Nathan went.
Let me check. Let me check my notes. I haven't looked at them the whole time, but I did take a bunch of them just to see.
So Nathan went home.
Actually, maybe I didn't write any note.
And he was almost okay
I don't know.
He's like, I saved Squeet. Squeet, you win for us. And he was okay with that. Probably disappointed that he kind of did it to himself. Scott won. Nathan going. I'm not quite sure who it was. Like, I feel Nathan going, everybody thought it was bad for their game because everybody thought they were working with Nathan. But
Mongoose was celebrating.
Maybe because he knew that Scott was closer to Nathan. He would have rather Squeak go. Nathan was the second choice, and somehow Dongush has decided that going to the end with Scott is good for his game, even though before he wanted to cut Scott, but now that he made a couple of blunders, he's realizing having somebody that always has your back is probably a good thing.
Yes. What I really like about this season is that all these players, almost all of them, have like really good cases and chances for them to win. Like I could see Trav winning, and that would make sense. Dongush, that makes sense. Scott, that makes sense. And even Squeed, if he can get to the end, I could see that.
And Saren, like, we're going to talk about her next episode, but Saren has like come out of the shadows. Saren is playing. I almost like, I kind of wanted Dongush to win the whole time because Dongush seemed like he wanted it so bad. But now I'm like, I'm for the underdogs. I'm for the Squeets, and I'm for the Serens, and I'm for the Trevs and the Maxes. But
Yeah, like Wong Goosh was like not a full villain before, but he's a full villain now. Like you read his confessional, he's just a villain all the time, villain monologuing.
but if you think about it, who like remember back with that meme? Who's had the hardest time? John Goose,
I
Scott,
don't
they
remember
had
what
it
mean.
easy. They had it easy. They went. They had hardly.
Wong Goosh and Scott have had it easy the whole time. Yeah, they never had to like. Well, having it easy is strong because they have to keep everybody in line, and that's not hard. Like Don Goosh had a not mental breakdown, but he was overwhelmed by it at some point trying to manage everybody. So it's like easy, but like not really because you have to manage everybody still. When you're at the top, you have to make sure you don't lose the top.
Yeah.
But they never had to work. Like when the swap was like in their favor and stuff. Like they were never on. Don Goosh still hasn't been on the bottom all game. Like he's been at the top the whole time.
Yes, and then the Squeets and the Trav, and they've had to like fight every single day to get where they are. So I just want to see if they can overcome the grannies.
They could, and like I really don't know, like um, yeah, poor Nathan was somebody that I really liked, so it's too bad that they're out. I thought Nathan was a player, and he was willing to make moves. Which I like way better than a player that just like sits there and does nothing. Because Nathan will make a move. It's not always a good move, but he'll make a move, and that's really admirable. You know.
Yes, yes, and he's the one that said that he has his own org and he doesn't like boring players and I feel like I didn't talk about Nathan a lot um before, but like we did talk about him when he, forced rocks, but like I really enjoyed him these last couple of episodes. Like you said, the moves might not have been great. The move did get him voted out, but you know what? It wasn't boring. It was fun. And I just remember where we were like last season at this time, and we're like, I'm not even doing the podcast anymore. These people are so boring. And like we kind of being like, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of like, what am I doing wrong? Am I losing the magic of Survivor? And then like one season later, it's like exciting again, and people are fun, and people are making moves, and people are talking to each other. So I think like you
Yeah.
said, it's like, because you've always told me this, that it's the cast is the one that determines if they're going to have a good time or if it's going to be fun.
Mm. Yeah.
And you're right about that.
So should we do predictions for next episode?
See, I don't, it's hard to, because we already know who won immunity. I
Yeah,
feel
can't really
like
do it.
I feel like John
We
Goose.
could do predictions for the. We could do
We didn't give our crowns. I don't like. I kind of want to get. You know what? I'm giving my crown to Nathan, because Nathan played hard. He made a dumb choice. He got himself voted out, but in the end, it did what he wanted to do. He saved Squeak. And I feel like I like that, so I'm giving Nathan my crown.
Yeah, I'll give Nathan my crown too because
Wait, Cooks, is your name Sparrow? You always steal my crowns.
no, not always, but I'm just saying that like if you look at like everybody else, like Scott only survived because he won fire making. Like
Notice like
Don
Scott
Gooch
has
and
got-
Scott, Don Gooch and Scott both thought there was no more idols left in the game, so they did not see this coming at all. So like, how can you give it to them? Like, it was Nathan that was the mastermind. It was Nathan that was the mastermind, but it just didn't work out. But it was a great plan.
Yes, and about Scott, I feel like he was like a star, and now he's kind of a little bit more like under the radar. I think maybe he realizes he's we'll talk about this next episode because we did touchy subjects. But I feel like he's smart and he's like, "Oh, I need to take a little bit of a step back here."
Yeah.
All right. So, I think
The ending song ready?
yes, let's say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
True friends last forever, forever. Stay strong. True friends go together, like melodies home. When I'm feeling blue, we smile, near or far, wherever. True friends meet.
I'll be here and you. Special girl, very best of friends. Side by side until the very end. That's what friends do.
I know I
can count on you. Friends last forever, forever friends stay strong. Friends go together like melody and song. When I feel the truth and the smile about you, you will fall wherever.
I'll be
Here
here
for you.